The pick is in for the Atlanta Falcons. It's tight end Kyle Pitts, who becomes the highest drafted tight end in the history of the NFL draft. And in my opinion, and I've been saying this since October 10th, 2020, as I sent in the chat, he was the greatest college football tight end of all time. And I think that makes him the best tight end prospect of all time in a time where tight ends have become more important. You see the way that guys like Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle, these top tight ends in the league are used. And Kyle Pitts is very similar to Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. He's going to be an absolute stud for Atlanta. He would have been a stud wherever he went. Kyle Pitts is, in my opinion, the greatest tight end prospect of all time, and that is why he just made history as the highest drafted tight end in the history of the NFL.
I mean, when you're a 6'5" tight end that weighs 245 pounds and runs a 4.4 40, that's special. I think his raw athletic score, which is kind of a metric, if you're not familiar with it, that just condenses all the combine stuff into one score between 0 and 10. His raw athletic score was a 9.66. And so he's uber athletic. Arguably, if you evaluate him with the receivers, even against them, he's got the best release package in the class. Great hands. He's got good yak ability. He can block. He's going to be able to do it all, and he's a great pick for them. Definitely where they should have gone if they weren't going to take a quarterback and weren't able to trade back.
So this is where the draft gets interesting right here. This is where it starts to be interesting, and I really think it comes down to Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase at 5 for Cincinnati. But that top four was pretty much written in ink, and the only team that really made a mistake is the Jets. I think the Falcons got the perfect player here. Maybe if it's not the perfect fit, maybe someone on the defense would have fit better. Maybe some people think they should have taken their franchise QB, but Kyle Pitts is a franchise player, regardless of if it's at the quarterback position. He's someone you want to build around for the next 10 years, and he's someone who I think is going to be just a top 5 player at this position for a long time.
So now the question –
Kyle Pitts is ridiculous, man. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I love him.
No, I was going to say Kyle Pitts, honestly, I didn't know much about him until Shane, Mark, and Dibe started telling me more about him coming out. I did not know much about him. As soon as I started watching tape on him, I was like, oh, my God, can the Eagles get him at 6 before they trade it back? And so to me, I think he's going to be a beast because the only issue is a guy at that size who's that explosive, can run like that, can jump like that. That's when you worry about possible injuries at that kind of a position. But barring injuries, I think that guy could be amazing.
Yeah, and
he's the Saquon Barkley at the tight end position for me. When Saquon Barkley came out of the draft, everyone's like, "Oh my God, this guy is ridiculous size, ridiculous speed, like ever had total package at the position." That's how Kyle Pitts is for me.
Yeah, but the only thing I'll say about that is I don't think anyone was saying Saquon Barkley was the best running back of all time. And maybe that's just more speaking to the position of tight end being more important nowadays. But Kyle Pitts is truly a unicorn at his position. I don't think that there's not many times where you can say that the best prospect of all time is in a class. And Saquon was an incredible prospect at running back, but Kyle Pitts is just on another planet for me. For me, I can't remember, let alone tight end. I should be even going farther than that. I can't remember the last receiver who I graded as highly than Kyle Pitts. I'd have to really do some deep diving into my old rankings, but I can't remember a receiver that I had number 2 overall on my big board the way I have Kyle Pitts number 2 overall.
The only thing I'll say about that is the running back position is historically so much different than the tight end position. So it's hard to sit there and be like, oh, this is the best prospect we ever seen, because the tight end position has changed so much in the past, like realistically past 15 years. It's been completely different than it ever was. And so I think it's hard because running back has been that marquee position since really NFL became a thing. So it's hard to say Saquon could be the best prospect ever at the position when the position's been at running back's been so good for so long in comparison to tight end, where now it's completely different.